How are you meant to get anything done when you come outside to this? Hey? Oh, cheeky.
So in 2025 I read 58 books, 22,500 pages, which equals out to be just shy of 62 pages a day. So my goal for this year had nothing to do with books, it was all to do with pages. Last year I bumped a lot of big books in order to get the book goal done, which was 52, and I ended up surpassing it. So for this year I didn't want to bump any big books, I just wanted to read the books that I wanted to read. I wanted this to be a mood reading year. So I set myself a page goal of 65 pages a day, which I think gets you pretty close to 25,000 pages read in a year. I might be wrong. Do the math first, brother. 25,000 divide 365. Yeah, okay, so 68 and a half. So the goal for this year was to make it a really mood-based year, which means I can read those big books if I want. I can read those big, dense fantasy series if I want, without worrying about getting a certain amount of books done in the year. I'm just going for total pages over the year. Halfway through April now, and it's safe to say I am behind that goal. I think I'm currently averaging around 58 to 59 pages a day. And over Easter, I definitely didn't read anywhere close to 68 and a half pages a day. So I thought, it's a Monday, let's set a little challenge this week to read 100 pages a day, Monday to Sunday, 7 days of 100 pages in a row, to try to buff that average back up a little bit, get myself back on track with the 25,000 goal. Probably in the grand scheme of things won't make that big of a difference to the average, but I need to do something. I'm currently reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I am on page 359. I'm also reading a Kindle book called Murder on the Scottish Highlands. Last year my wife and I went up to Inverness for a little while and it was fantastic and we absolutely loved it there. So in the evenings I like to turn the light off a bit earlier, which means I can't read The Count of Monte Cristo, so I like to have a Kindle book on the go, and I thought that will be the perfect book for the moment. But I think I'm about 75% through that, so I'm expecting to finish that sort of tonight, maybe tomorrow night. And then I'm also reading the 5th Dungeon Crawler Carl book. I'm not planning to do like 100 pages of The Count of Monte Cristo every day or 100 pages of each book every day. I'm just going to go for 100 pages total. I'll definitely finish Murder on the Scottish Highlands. I'm hoping to sort of read 30 to 40 pages of this a day, so that's good. That'll get me like another 200-ish pages through. The rest I guess we will do with Dungeon Crawler Carl, and whatever other book I pick up after this one, I'll let you guys know. So, got my coffee, I've got the cat. Let's get this challenge started. 100 pages every day for a week, starting today. Alright, it is Wednesday and yesterday I read for a good 2 to 3 hours, but the majority of it was The Count of Monte Cristo. And a page in The Count of Monte Cristo takes me on average maybe 3-ish minutes per page, whereas all the other books I'm reading it's more like a page per minute. So although I read for a long time yesterday, I only just hit the goal. So I got 100 pages on the dot yesterday from reading The Chamber of Secrets right before bed, and I was literally like drifting off and like opening my eyes back up to read, just to try and get that 100 pages. I've got myself a nice coffee here in the croissant mug, and we are about to get cozy and lock in with The Butcher's Masquerade for the next hour to 2 hours, try and get through some pages, and then tonight we have another reading night, so I'll probably read a bit of The Count tonight, and then right before bed I'll switch over to the Chamber of Secrets again.
Right, time for a little break. We're going to go outside, do a little bit of gardening, and then check on our chickens, and then come back in for another session of reading. Hello, chickens.
Did you want some short film as well?
That's alright. You love this man. Alright, so I've come outside to have a little break from reading. I just set myself an hour timer to read The Count of Monte Cristo, and I sat for an hour straight, no distractions. I had white noise on the headphones, and I got through 24 pages, so a little bit slow on reading The Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah, it takes me around like 2.5 to 3 minutes per page by the look of it. So I've got 24 pages done for today. It is day 5 of the challenge, and I've hit the goal every day so far. Some days have been much harder than others. And I thought I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of the books that I'm reading. So I'm going to try and do this without too many spoilers as well, actually. The Count of Monte Cristo, you've probably heard of it. It is the tale of a man called Edmond Dantes, who is wrongfully accused and sent off to prison. And in prison, he realizes that he has been betrayed. Essentially, he's an innocent man who's serving time. And he doesn't know why he's there. He doesn't know who sent him there, but he eventually figures it out. And we follow the journey of Dantes as he sort of... Well, you know, I'm only 460 odd pages in, so I'm sort of still following his journey, but it seems like he's seeking revenge, and he's going to get vengeance on the people who put him there. So it is a classic. It was published in the 1840s, and it's a behemoth. It's just shy of 1,300 pages, and I sort of consider this book for me like a lifetime book. It's one of those books that you just know that once you've finished it, you're going to wish that you could read it again for the first time. One of those type of books. So I'm really trying to enjoy it and take it all in and not rush it too much, even though recently I have had an absolute craving. Out of the blue, I've had a craving to read more Dostoevsky. I think I might have been seeing a bit of short form content about it, so it's influenced me. And I'm also kind of going through a little bit of a flatter phase in my life at the moment. I'm feeling a little bit stuck in routine and just feeling a little bit humdrum at the moment. And I think I read some Dostoevsky last year, and just his tone and style of writing, which is very sort of like existential and philosophical and really psychological, makes you think about the state of the human. And like, I think that's just what I'm drawn to at the moment because of the phase that I'm currently in, which is a bit existential. So I'm not going to rush through The Count of Monte Cristo because I love it and it is a lifetime book, a once in a lifetime book. So I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm pretty sure as soon as I finish The Count, I'm going to go straight on to, I think, The Idiot by Dostoevsky. So yeah, that's a little quick rundown of The Count. I'm also for this 100 pages per day challenge, I'm also reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, the 5th book, which is called The Butcher's Masquerade. If you haven't heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I'm sure you have, it is a lit RPG. It's relatively new. I think it's only come out in like the last 4 or 5 years. I think 7 books out at the moment, and the 8th one is coming out this year. I'm on book 5. And I started reading them last year, around about this time last year, probably March, April. And I thought it was a really fun read, the first book. And then I've just slowly, sort of maybe like every couple of months, read the next one in the series. And I've enjoyed them all so far. I think 3's probably been my favourite. The one with the iron tangle, the trains and all that. I thought that was really fun, and I kind of like trains. I'm not like a full-blown train nerd, but I do enjoy trains, and I think they're pretty cool. So I enjoyed that whole story. The Butcher's Masquerade is quite good, where I'm up to. I think I'm about halfway. I might be a little bit over halfway. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that. That is sort of a story of aliens come down to Earth. Every structure that's sort of above the Earth's crust gets smashed down into a dungeon underneath the crust, I think. And if you were inside when this happened, you just died. If you were outside, little stairwells came up where you could go down and participate in the crawl, where you go through the dungeon. And yeah, it's sort of like a game style thing, like a PC game style thing where you get stat points, etc. Yeah, we follow Carl and his cat, or his ex-partner's cat, but the cat's with him at the time, called Donut. It's fun. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of funny stuff that happens, and but also now that I'm up to book 5, there's a lot of heart as well. There's a lot of emotional stuff, and we're getting to know Carl on a bit of a deeper level. I think the first day of the challenge, I finished Murder in the Scottish Highlands, which was just a nice little murder mystery. I like to have a murder mystery on the go every so often, and I hadn't read one this year until very early April, where I read The Murder at the Vicarage by Agatha Christie, and I thought, like, I usually have one on the go. I probably read 5 to 10 murder mysteries per year. Late last year we went over to Inverness and we spent a few days there and absolutely loved it. I saw this one pop up in my search for murder mysteries, and set in the Scottish Highlands, I thought, perfect, why not read that? I enjoyed that. That was a pretty good book, a good sort of like before bed read. Once I finished that, I was kind of in limbo of what I wanted to read next, so I had The Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, already on the go from just sort of whenever I feel like that, sort of in limbo, I'll just pick that up. But I'm actually kind of itching to get back into The Faithful and the Fallen with Ruin, but I don't want to read The Faithful and the Fallen while I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, because they're just two books that are kind of like, I want to give them each their own time. So I'm going to hopefully finish The Chamber of Secrets around the same time that I finish Dungeon Crawler Carl, and then I will move on to Ruin and The Count of Monte Cristo as my 2 books that are on the go. 1 Kindle, 1 physical book. That's the plan. I'm hoping to finish The Chamber of Secrets during this challenge, and I might get quite close to finishing Dungeon Crawler Carl as well. I'm going to be nowhere near The Count of Monte Cristo, but that's sort of a long, slow read anyway. That's the update, guys. It is day 5. I'm hoping that I'll get the 100 today. It is gone 1 p.m. and I've only read 25, 26 pages. So this afternoon I'm going to have to sit down for a good hour and a half, and I'm thinking I'll go with Dungeon Crawler Carl, smash out a few pages there, and then hopefully before bed I'll be able to get a few, like maybe another 20 or 30 of The Chamber of Secrets.
Alright, it is future Alex here. It is about 3-4 weeks after I did the 100 pages every day for a week challenge. Unfortunately I got a little bit sick there and then just sort of got lazy and didn't film the outro to the video. So that's what we're doing right now. Let's just do a little quick recap. On Monday I got 118 pages done. Tuesday I got 100 pages done. Wednesday 108. Thursday 135 pages. I think that was my best day. Oh no, not quite. Friday we had 104, Saturday 110, and then Sunday, the best day of the week, 174 pages done in the day. So total of 849 pages across the week. That was so good for my average. I have dropped off a little bit when I got sick. I didn't read all that much, but luckily I did that week just before that. I managed to finish off Dungeon Crawler Carl 5. I managed to finish off Murder in the Scottish Highlands, as you guys know from an earlier clip. I think I ended up reading around 120 odd pages of The Count of Monte Cristo, probably not as much as I would like. I've decided to set that book aside for just a little while and just get back into my fantasy reading for now. I am really enjoying it, but it just seems like a bit of a commitment and it's so slow and I'm just not really in the right headspace for it. So we've set that one aside. I finished off the second Harry Potter, which I picked up somewhere in the middle of the challenge because I didn't have a book to go on to. Yeah, and I think on the Sunday I also started Ruin because I had finished Dungeon Crawler Carl 5 and I read, what does it say here? I read 31 pages of that. So at the time of filming this portion of the video, I'm about 80-85% through Ruin. So that's also taken me a little while. The last sort of 3 weeks hasn't been the best for me for reading, but I have my enthusiasm back and I have been reading a lot more this week. So thank you all for watching the video. It was a really good challenge to try and get that done and really good for my pages for the year. And I have another video coming up for you soon that I filmed before I was a little bit under the weather. So I'll probably be doing another outro like this for that video soon. So I'll see you guys shortly. All right.